Alright, so, alright, I can't find the article, but yeah, like, Tears of the Kingdom looks absolutely amazing to me, so, like, there is, in my mind, nothing to dislike about it, and it's the kind of thing that I think is going to be... What the fuck? What the fuck? I have no idea why that just crashed. I was just going, what the fuck? Well, it crashed. Yeah, if you guys are still here, yeah, okay, something broke on my end, and I'm not sure why, but anyway, um, so let's discuss Nintendo Switch 2 rumors while we wait for Toby. Alright, let's go to a reputable, source. Let's do, uh, Nintendo Life, I think. Yeah, whatever. Um, okay, no, this isn't where I wanted to head. Um, okay, well, let's go with, Game Radar. I hear that they're somewhat reputable. Um, when's this article from? February 8th, 2023. Okay, um, if any of you guys are opposed to rumors, it's fine if you just let me know in chat. I will see. But I'm just kind of curious what the rumor mill has churned out. Not because I believe what they're churning out, but because there's sometimes really funny bits of speculation. So they're proposing a 4K dock and a full 1080p Switch display. So the 1080p doesn't actually seem like a huge stretch because the OLED should have last I checked, display resolution. Yeah. Oh, okay. So the OLED also does 720p 1080p dock just like the normal one. Okay. Um, but I wouldn't be surprised by a 1080p display, frankly. That wouldn't surprise me. 4K docked would. that's that's fair. I don't believe the rumors that I do come across. Most of them seem a little bit fanciful for my liking. Like I remember when the NX rumors were floating about, and it's like, oh, it's not gonna have standard controllers. It's gonna have like capacitive touch pads all over it, and now that's what the Steam Deck has, but like, was never what the Switch was going to have. And I don't think people are overly chuffed on them on the OLED or on the Steam Deck. There we go. Now a 4K dock. I personally don't buy that we're gonna get a 4K dock. Like, it just doesn't seem like something that's going to happen to me, right? Because what I think is very likely going to happen is if this gets a bump to 1080p, we're going to see the dock bump up to the next resolution, which is not 4K. It's going to be 2K. Well, it's actually going to be... So 4K is not actually 4K. 1080p, its next size up is 2160p, and 4K is actually, double that. So 2K isn't actually 200, it's 216, it's 2160p. So that's actually what it is. What Nintendo Switch rumors have there been? So as far back as 2019, Wall Street Journal's reported on citing parts suppliers and software developers for Nintendo, saying that the company was working on a new Switch model. So the first was a cheaper option for casual gamers. Yeah, that's something that we do know they were in development on, but it's something that we could have also assumed they were in development on as well, based on what has happened with previous handhelds. Like, we got the DS, then we got the DS Lite, which was, by all matter, an improvement over the DS and everything except for comfort, in my opinion. Then we got, on the 3DS, we got the 2DS, which was essentially a 3DS Lite. So, seeing a smaller, slightly less powerful model was going to happen. Now, I don't think they actually cut a huge amount in terms of power with the Switch Lite. I think it's just as powerful. Then they came out with the OLED, which follows the exact same trend, like the DSi XL, the 3DS XL, and the new Nintendo 3DS. Though the new Nintendo 3DS was a system all its own. That was highly backwards compatible, but the games for it wouldn't run on the 3DS, so this is more akin to the 3DS XL. So, that would explain the OLED. Recent rumors include a WCC Tech report where data miner finds signs of the Switch in the Switch's firmware that the tablet itself definitely has an upgraded display, adding that the new hardware is codenamed Aula. I don't know if it's 4K. Aula has firmware support, some Realtek chip that advertises itself as 4K UHD multimedia SoC2, hence my belief that it's 4K. Now, most of these chips are graphics processors, or GPUs. Now, I'm not sure if you know this, but a GPU is actually just a really sophisticated calculator, meaning most times when you're running a 3D game, all that the CPU is doing is feeding instructions to your GPU, saying, okay, well, we need to figure out where this model is, and we need to figure out where this collision mesh is, and we need to figure out how these textures slide onto it. Oh, and you need to calculate this, and it throws it all at the GPU. Now, I'm going to assume that whatever Realtek chip that they've got in here is actually just a graphics processing chip. So, if it's just a graphics processing chip, they can knock it down to 1080p easily and give it a lot more to chew on, which would improve the visual fidelity of the games quite a bit, while allowing them to still keep it roughly analogous to the Nintendo Switch in terms of visual power. Or in terms of, visual output, I should say. Meaning that it would allow them to largely, I think, reuse the same dock technology, which is not something that they could do if they used a massively new chipset, or were trying to do 4K. So, the data miner clarifies that he's not sure if it relates to the dock itself. Data miner clarifies afterwards they're unsure whether this is related to the console's chip or to the dock itself. It would make more sense to see it in the dock itself. No, it wouldn't. The Nintendo Switch dock isn't actually doing any graphics processing. That's a stupid thing to speculate. All the dock is doing is taking a USB video signal, and converting it to an HDMI visual signal. It is not doing anything more sophisticated. Putting a graphics processing chip in the dock is stupid. At least if Nintendo is going to use a similar dock technology to what they're using now. If they're going to use what the new standard is from the USB Consortium, maybe they could put a graphics processing chip in there and figure out some way to onboard it, but I don't think that's something Nintendo is likely to do, as it would mean that future revisions would likely be incompatible with their previous dock. But if you take an OLED, you can put it onto a normal Nintendo Switch dock. If you take a Nintendo Switch, you can, if you take the Joy-Cons off, drop it onto a OLED dock. They work together just fine because it's the same gubbins in one. They just added an Ethernet port and redesigned the exterior casing. Like, this is not a thing that Nintendo is likely to do. You know? Ah, Toby, hello. How are ya? You're what? Ah, welcome. We were just talking about some Nintendo Switch rumors live on stream. Yeah, it's just implored in chat at the moment. Yeah, we've also got like a 25, 28-second stream delay, so it might take a second for him to respond. But, yeah, so, I came across some information that might break chat's brain. It certainly broke mine when I encountered it last night. So, so, there is a sauce that we have in Canada that we just call spaghetti sauce. It's made with tomato, beef, yeah, tomato, beef, onion, garlic, sometimes mushrooms, sometimes like people will chop up bell pepper and put it in there as well, and all sorts of other vegetables and stuff. Is that actually an Italian thing? Like, so even in concept, that's not an Italian thing. Okay, is there such an equivalent tomato-based sauce at all? Okay, but there's not like vegetables and stuff in it. Okay. So, okay, that blew my mind. And the second thing I came across is that's not like so like a tomato and beef sauce is not a thing you would put on spaghetti at all either. Despite the fact that oh, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah, spaghetti and meatballs. Okay, and that's surprising to me because it's literally the thing that every Italian restaurant will advertise. We have spaghetti and meatballs, authentic Italian cooking, and it's like, wait, that's not actually a thing? Okay, yeah, that would absolutely break my brain. Oh, because to me, it's just like, yeah, that's one of those things that you can get. It's not what I usually order, but it's just one of the things you could get. Um, it should be. Say something real quick. Oh, crap. No. Okay, try saying something now.
All right, can you hear me now? Does it work?
I had my Discord muted. Oh.
That explains it. Hi, Implord. How are you doing? Is my voice better now?
Okay, I'm quite embarrassed about that. Okay,
Uh,
so okay.
it happened to me lots of times back when I was human streaming instead of VTubing.
Actually, speaking of, I can probably throw you into. Actually, I can actually quickly PNG tuber you into the stream. Actually,
Oh, cute.
yeah, really quickly. I'm gonna.
Do you want me to send you the like main one I use for my streams?
You could if you'd like. Yeah. Just as long as it's a transparent PNG, I can throw it in.
Yeah, exactly. I'll just drop it on your Discord, and there we go. Just drop it in general. The only thing is, of course, you need to only show it from the waist up
Yeah.
for
Okay.
obvious Twitch reasons.
All
Okay,
right.
so view all.
Yeah, I've increased your audio here, so the chat should be able to hear you quite well. All right, and you've sent
Do you want me
me.
with my hoodie on or shirtless?
Uh, which server did you send it in?
No, no, I'm asking if you want it with my hoodie on or shirtless.
Oh, your choice. I'm good either way. I mean, my character's
Let's do
shirtless,
hoodie.
so
Oh, your character shirtless. Okay, well then let's actually do shirtless as well.
cool.
There you go. Up to you which one you use. Just remember to only show it from the waist up.
Yep. Save. Okay. Streamlabs shouldn't. Okay, currently I've got your profile picture actually as what chat is seeing
All right.
on
Ah,
Discord.
yes. I
Uh,
see.
but very soon I will actually have your PNG properly up. Okay, so
All right. Good boy.
settings, choose file.
Yeah. So if Implore can hear us better now, we were talking about pasta sauces and how stuff that you find in the U.S. or Canada uh,
Yeah,
is very distant from what we have here in Italy,
yeah,
and it's pretty funny.
and that just broke my head. Now, I'm generally someone that when I have pasta, I generally go for white sauces like I like fettuccine alfredo. That's what I'll
Likewise.
usually order at a restaurant.
Yeah. Okay. Also, that's not a thing. That's not an Italian thing as well.
Wait, really?
Alfredo sauce doesn't exist. It's an American invention.
Wait, okay, more stuff that I thought was actually a real thing. I'm like, well, okay, I guess the red sauce is fake, but the white sauce, no, the white sauce is a lie too.
Yep.
So, okay, now I'm even more confused. Please enlighten me.
I have no idea what Alfredo sauce is. I just know the name, and that it's sort of like a meme in some like Reddit communities where they make fun of Americans for random shit. But that's all I know about it. I
Okay,
have no idea what that sauce is supposed to be.
so I can actually describe what Alfredo sauce is supposed to be as someone who has both made and
All right,
had it.
go
So
ahead.
it's a cheese-based sauce where you melt a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of butter
With
with
cheese.
what you melt butter and flour together in a stove, trying to avoid toasting that, and then you
Uh-huh.
add milk and cheese like Parmesan and mozzarella to create this sort of sauce.
Okay, well, also keep in mind, mozzarella that you find in America is way different than mozzarella you have in Italy.
Okay, yeah, that's
Like
fair.
mozzarella in America is usually like a block thing, right? It's
Uh,
like solid.
well, you can get it as a block, you can get it shredded, you can get it in most any form you want.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, you don't. Mozzarella is like a very soft and squishy cheese that oozes water as you chew through it.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
That's somewhat of a...
Actually, you know what? I'm walking around. There's like a department store nearby. I can just go in, get some mozzarella, and show you.
I mean, we have cheeses that are what what you've just described as being mozzarella. It's just we generally don't call them mozzarella. All right, and I have just gotten your PNG integrated into my setup, by the way, as well.
All right, cute.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I think shortlist would have been better, but okay.
well, it was more because I had to avoid showing certain stuff. Now I can go in and update it to be shirtless without risking breaking Twitch's terms of service.
That's probably a good idea. Yeah.
Alright, so this should update relatively... Ah, there we go. Shirtless now.
Let's see. I'm waiting for the stream delay.
Alright, so... That breaks my head. Okay, so... I swear, next you're gonna tell me that garlic bread isn't a thing.
It's not an Italian thing. Garlic bread is not an Italian thing.
Is there anything is there anything non-Italians assume is Italian that actually is Italian aside from like the flag and the country? Because if it's like next you're gonna tell me espresso isn't an Italian thing.
No, that's an Italian thing, but we don't call it espresso. We just call it a coffee.
Okay,
That's like the standard coffee.
okay, that's fair enough. Whereas over here, drip coffee is the standard.
Yeah, that's not really a thing here. We usually just drink espresso.
That's fair enough. Actually, speaking of coffee, I recently got a maca pot, and it's really good at making coffee.
Yeah, that's what you usually make coffee with.
Oh, cool. Over here, like, espresso machines are like these contraptions of pressure and steam that, like, can explode.
Yeah, I know. That's sort of like what they usually use at bars.
Oh shit,
But
something
if
is...
you're making coffee at home, you usually use a mocha thing.
Okay. Also, a bit of my stream just broke and I have fixed it.
Okay.
The little the little viewer tag, for some reason jumped up like a dozen pixels. So, now that's better. Alright, so...
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a dozen viewers.
No, the thing just, for some reason, jetted up, like, higher than it should have been. Okay, so... Neapolitan ice cream, that is a thing Canadians assume is Italian.
I have no idea what that is, so if you describe it to me, maybe I'll be able to confirm or not.
So it's ice cream that is 1/3 chocolate, 1/3 vanilla, 1/3 strawberry.
I'm not sure. Not really something I've seen personally.
Okay.
You can buy that combination, like if you're getting like a tub of ice cream, you can get like tubs that are like 1/3 something, 1/3 something, 1/3 something. But I don't feel like that specific combination has a name. No.
Weird. Okay.
Inflor says he's watching a man fall apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's so much fun.
I have these nascent assumptions about what Italian stuff actually is, and it's like most of them are wrong. Okay, is
Well, I
lasagna an
mean, all the
Italian
stuff.
thing?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, thank goodness. One thing I figured was Italian actually is. Okay.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, describe lasagna, and I'll tell you if your idea of lasagna is what our idea of lasagna is.
Okay,
Because I've
so.
seen some horrible stuff in the U.S. So there's this friend of mine. Her name is Emmy. She took me to Olive Garden as torture once.
Ugh.
Uh, to be fair, I asked her to take me there because I wanted to see, like, I heard about Olive Garden. I wanted to try it out, and it was painful. Lots of war crimes there.
As someone who likes good
But
food, Olive Garden is a war crime to me as well.
good.
It is a crime against good food taste.
Okay, so what is your idea of lasagna? Tell me the ingredients and stuff.
Okay, so you've already pointed out one of these things is not actually a real thing, but or actually two of them technically. So the meat and tomato based sauce that has like minced vegetables in it.
Yeah, that's already a huge no.
Okay, and then a cheese based sauce, which also isn't apparently a real thing. Well, it is a thing.
What's
It's just not a.
cheese-based sauce?
Well, it's the one where you melt butter and flour together and add like cheeses and.
Yeah, no. Okay, no.
Okay.
That doesn't exist.
Okay, and then there are flat pasta noodles that go in between and form layers.
Noodles?
Yeah, like
You mean like sheets, right?
yes, sorry, yeah, they're sheets. Over here they get
Okay,
called
yeah.
lasagna noodles,
Okay,
which it doesn't make sense to
sure.
me either because it's not actually a noodle, it's a sheet. But
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting names. That's okay.
it's not a noodle. A noodle is like a long thin thing. This is a
Yeah.
wide flat sheet, and it should be called a sheet. But it's essentially a layer of the tomato stuff, some lasagna sheets, and then another layer of the tomato stuff, but this time with like the cheese stuff, and then another layer of like the sheets, and then a layer of like just keep putting layers on top, and then put like oregano and parsley freshly chopped on top, and then put it in the oven to cook. Like that is the
I
most.
mean, that's not too far from reality. Yeah, just like you'd use bechamel instead of the cheese thing, and it's just basically ragu for the meat part. Like other than those two things that are the main part of the dish, yeah, everything else sounds about right.
Now, I'm gonna ask what may be a very, very dumb question. So over
Go
here,
ahead.
garlic is very associated with Italian cooking, and so are onions, right?
Hmm.
Are those at all things that get used a lot in Italy? Or are other things preferred?
Oh yeah, pretty much into daily. Like any kind of sauce, you usually start with pan frying some onions and garlic, for example. That's a very common thing. Like
Oh,
standard tomato sauce is tomato put in like first you need to just put a bunch of oil in a pan, add some chopped onions, a bit of garlic, and then fry a bit until they get kind of brownish. And then you add the tomato, and that's like your standard tomato sauce, right? With a bit of salt as well.
yeah, okay.
That's how you make your standard tomato sauce. That is one of the most commonly used things in Italian cuisine, so absolutely.
Okay, so that's kind of interesting because that's the same way I start out making most tomato sauces. I brown some onions, I throw in some tomato, add some salt, and then my next step is, all right, let's chop up and throw in some mushrooms because those are tasty. Which is apparently the wrong move. Unbeknownst to me,
I mean, you can do that.
every Italian place I've ever gone to, they
The
have
fact that it's not
mushrooms.
traditionally Italian food doesn't mean it's not tasty.
Oh, that's true too. But like every Italian place I go to, it's like, yes, and we have mushrooms. as a thing that we put on just about everything. And it's like, oh, I like mushrooms. I'll happily eat that.
Yeah, like for example, yeah, like the problem there is when you try to pass that stuff for like genuine Italian food, right? It's not it.
I guess that's
But
fair, yeah. But then it gets burned into
like,
people's
feel free to
heads.
put whatever you want in your. Yeah.
Okay, so lots of things I assumed are Italian food are just lies invented by North Americans and probably English people as well.
I'd say more North Americans than English.
I've seen English people make the lasagna that I just described to you.
Yeah, but that's because the British are shit with food.
Okay, that's
As an
true.
overall rule. Like, I'm sorry, Implord, but I have no respect for British quote-unquote food. I'm sorry.
Okay,
Uh,
but are fish and chips any good? That's something we might differ on, because I really like
oh,
beer battered deep fried
I don't
fish.
like fish, so
Oh,
I don't like fish in general. So I don't really have an opinion on fish and chips.
oh, interesting. Okay.
Apparently, Implord finds your mental breakdown very entertaining to watch.
I'm sure Implord would find my breakdown funny to
Your
watch no matter.
existential crisis.
I'm sure Implord would find my breakdown funny no matter what sort of breakdown it was.
Ooh, Implord, we are going to drag English people into this because I have lived in the UK for a year. And
Implord, I am
no,
Canadian. All of our
no,
food culture,
Implord.
all of our food culture is based on you. We imported it all, and then we imported
To be
everything
fair,
else and ran it through your filter.
Canada has like one amazing thing. That's poutine. Poutine is amazing.
Poutine is
Don't diss on that.
poutine is great. I love poutine.
I went to Toronto last year. That is great. Like
Now I
you
gotta.
can't compare English and Canadian food, even just because you can't get like a single British thing that is better than a single Canadian thing. That's the problem there.
So I'm gonna go ahead and wholeheartedly agree with you on that, with one exception.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to get, there's a specific type of candy. If you get one made in Canada, it does not taste good. The name of it is slipping me right now. If you get one imported from England, it actually tastes right. It's like these specific, like, sweet candies that are like made out of sugar and have like a white powder on
Uh-huh.
them. If you get them in Canada, they will taste like
Oh,
crap.
okay.
That is the one
Interesting.
exception.
Interesting.
That is the one exception, and I do not know why that is. I have tried to figure it out.
Mm.
They just don't taste right.
So, interesting. In terms of general food, though, I think there's only like one, like, nationality of food that reigns supreme overall, and that is Mexico.
I'm going to slightly disagree and say Japanese food.
So,
Again, that's partly because I like
I,
fish.
yeah, probably then, yeah. I'd say I've tried a lot of different Japanese stuff, also because I lived in Japan for a year, so I tried a lot of stuff there. And last year I went to holiday in Mexico for Dog Ray's wedding. I don't think they can compare. Mexican food is straight up the best food I've had in my life. Nothing can compare to that. Nothing.
So I will
And
give
I would say
you.
that with confidence. Though I have tried Mexican restaurants in the US afterwards, and they're shit compared to food in Mexico. So
Yes, I will grant you that. I have where I live in Canada happens to have a high amount of immigrants from like all over the world, and so there is a large amount of like concentrated genuine food here. And like I've had Indian food, I've had Middle Eastern food, like stuff from like Saudi Arabia, stuff from Iran, stuff from Iraq, and they're all really good. Lots of food from all over the world is actually really great. And one thing that's interesting is actually how many times different groups have invented the exact same concept of thing in different ways.
Oh, that's yeah. My favorite example is what here in Italy we call a piadina,
Call it what?
and it's the same exact. It's a piadina. Essentially just tortillas.
Yeah.
It's basically that, but it evolved independently. Um, and that's something you find in actually like a lot of different cultures.
Yeah, well,
Just
because
the idea of flatbread wrapped around stuff. It's such a universal thing that you find everywhere.
yeah, well, especially in places where you do not have large amounts of yeast available to make bread rise. Like if you look at India, they
Hmm.
have naan bread. If you look at Greece, they've got pitas. If you look at Mexican food, they've got tortillas.
Yeah.
The example that always comes to mind for me actually is dumplings, samosas, pasties, burritos. They're all roughly a similar idea,
Hmm.
which is they're a dough that has bits in it that then gets cooked. Because, like, I don't know if this is actual Mexican food, but there's a place up by me which is, like, claims to be genuine Mexican, and the people who run it are from Mexico. They sell deep fried burritos.
Hmm.
But samosas are also deep fried, but they're like a lot smaller. They're sort of about the size of a dumpling. Well, they're slightly bigger, but. And then you've got dumplings, which are obvious. And then you've got. Okay, this is probably going to mildly offend you. In North
Go ahead.
America, we have this thing where you can take take a pizza and then, on a conceptual level, fold it in half and fuse the rim to create a quote
That's
unquote
just.
pizza pocket.
I mean, that just sounds like a panzerotto or a calzone. Um,
Holy shit, there's a debate
that's very
over whether
common.
or not pizza pockets are just calzones, but bigger. This is an actual debate that North Americans have. So,
No,
okay.
wait, no, no. So wait, no, 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 no. How big is a calzone? Because
The ones I've seen are normally about the size of
a
like.
calzone is essentially just the uh-huh.
So they're essentially about the size of like a small pizza folded in half, or what calzones normally all are, and like small pizzas are like
How
8 inches
how big
across.
is how small is a small pizza?
Depending on
Mm.
the place, anywhere from 6 to 8 inches fully across. So like half the size of a Subway
Uh-huh.
sub, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay. That is probably what we would call a panzerotto, which is slightly different. It's smaller and it can also be uh, m- like made fried instead of just cooked in the oven.
Okay,
But it can also be oven cooked. That is what we call a panzerotto. Well, a calzone is basically just the size of a pizza.
okay. So this isn't a fake thing. We just made one the size of a large pizza and said, "Yeah, it's a different thing."
Yeah.
Okay, that's ridiculous. It should just be a bigger version of the same thing. If I was gonna name it, that's what I would do. Is just a bigger version of the small one.
Yeah.
How big are calzones and stuff across normally?
I don't know. There's no standard for how large a pizza is that I can think of.
I guess that's fair. North
Um,
American food loves to standardize itself onto things. So that way we can make it as big as reasonable in our minds.
mm. I mean,
Even
that's probably the reason why a lot of places, it's not very common in Italy, but like you can find that around the world, and in some places in Italy as well. Like some places as kind of a joke, but not really, have like in terms of sizes they have small, medium, large, American.
They literally go, Americans are gonna think this is too small, so we'll put an American size so they know how to order it.
I mean, when I was in the U.S. and I ordered like a small drink, that wasn't a small drink. I understand the obesity crisis. Yes.
Yeah. We decided that that was a small. And you know
Yeah.
what's funny is about every 5 years, the sizes will all shift down. So, like, 5 years from when you came, when you next show up, your small will be the size of a medium. Like, whatever the medium was when you were here will now be the small 5 years from then. And whatever the large was will now be the medium. And they'll invent a
Tintor
new
says
size
there's no
to...
limit if you're hungry enough. I mean, he's correct.
I mean, that's fair, but like... Uh, it's genuinely hilarious. Though I think Canada's obesity crisis can be blamed on the fact that we have a concept of a coffee called a Gretzky.
What's that?
So there's a Canadian hockey player named Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, I know about him because of How I Met Your Mother. Yes.
Yes, so his numbers were 12-12. A Gretzky is a small coffee with 12 milk and 12 sugar. We have that as a concept.
Oh.
You can just go in and say, I want a Gretzky. And even at Starbucks now, they know what that means. Even at Starbucks, they know what that means. Now, personally, I never order a Gretzky. I'm always ordering double doubles, which are 2 cream, 2 sugar, and usually it's a large.
Which already sounds a lot.
Fair enough, yeah. I've started now getting double doubles with artificial sweeteners like stevia and Splenda because, hey, no calories.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, when I was in Toronto, I mean, I usually just get black coffee, and I don't really put stuff in my coffee, so I just like there was like a Tim Hortons right in front of my hotel, and I just went there every morning and drank a large black coffee, and that was it for me. So
yeah. Now the other thing I will say though is so I've had like stuff I've made in my my mocha pot on the stove. It tastes way better than drip coffee does. I do not feel the need to add things to it to make it tasty. It's just tasty.
Mm.
Whereas when I have drip coffee, I go, this at least needs milk.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, because it just tastes like the taste is different enough that my brain goes, this needs something else to improve it. But like the mocha pot, I don't usually add anything to it. I've had it for about 2 weeks and it's really good.
Well, also, what kind of powder are you using for the mocha?
What kind of what?
What kind of powder are you using for the mocha?
Are you saying coffee powder?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm using whole bean coffee that I'm grinding to what my grinder says is the espresso setting. Because that's what the
Okay.
instructions said to do on the mocha pot that I got.
I see. Sorry, I just love how my streams are just talking war all day, and then right now I'm here on your stream talking food. Anyways.
I mean, the two are connected.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, interesting vor question. So, I know you're not a huge
Go
fan
ahead.
of the sort of size play things I'm into. What are your thoughts on food adjacent vor?
What do you mean food adjacent?
Okay, so like, suppose you were eating a rabbit, right? Like a rabbit anthro. What would your thoughts be on them being in a rabbit stew?
I don't like that personally.
Okay, cool. Just thought I'd ask.
I'm it just takes away from the sort of like eroticness of the moment, I guess.
That's fair enough, actually. Yeah, I mean, hey, as my dad likes to say, different folks for different strokes, right?
Yes.
Because that's kind of
Or
an
the saying we have in Italian is actually, you could say it's food related, so it's even better. That is, Latin is de gustibus non disputandum est, which means you don't argue about taste. So you know
yeah.
it's about taste, so vor is better.
Well, I will agree with you there. So, I guess we're kind of getting close to the wrap-up point of this stream. You've largely answered my questions about Italian food that were breaking my brain as of last night.
Well, let me know if I can break your brain even more.
Well, you do have my Discord, so...
Oh, what do you mean? I just meant talking about food.
Oh, okay.
Of course, that's all I meant. Nothing else. No
Sure.
hidden meanings behind it.
Sure, sure. Actually, one thing I think you might find interesting. I'm actually curious.
Uh-huh.
You said that you got poutine, right?
Yeah.
Where did you get your poutine from?
A bunch of different places. If they had poutine, I ordered it because I wanted to try out like a lot of different places to see if they make it different.
Okay. Did any of them have cheese curd, or were they all shredded cheese?
I think they were all curds. Yeah.
Okay, so that means you didn't get one from like Tim Hortons or Burger King then, because they do shredded.
No, neither one of those.
Okay, that's
So I
good.
got a couple from. I got a couple from some like random fast food places. I think I got one at Wendy's as well. And then I found this place. It's like a, how do you say that? Like those like small installments on the side of the road.
Usually like street food.
Yeah, exactly. That they like only did poutine, and it was so good. I just went there all the time.
Okay, cool. Because if it's like, if you had one from any of these places, you had a crap poutine. Come back over here and we'll make you some real poutine. Now, what's
Oh, I
re-
guess at some point you'll have to make some real poutine for me yourself.
Oh, I would happily do that. Now, one interesting place you may want to visit is we've actually got two really neat places for food up in Ontario. One
Uh-huh.
is the Chocolate Factory. It's not called that. I have genuinely no idea what it's called. They are an outlet store, however, for factory seconds of Queen Anne chocolate, which is
Hmm.
really good chocolate. They actually brand themselves world's finest, but it's really good. I'm not sure if it actually is recognized as being the best, but it's really good.
I mean, if I think about like chocolates, I think about like Lindt, Swiss stuff.
That's fair, whereas Queen Anne is all made in Canada.
Hmm.
Though I actually have developed somewhat of a grudge against Lindt chocolate as of lately.
Oh, why?
Every time, so I'm someone who prefers dark chocolate, right?
Oh,
Every,
same.
every time I have gone out and gotten Lindt chocolate recently, and like I like the 99%, like darkest you can get. I will happily eat baking
Hmm.
chocolate, no sugar, right? Every time I've gotten one, I have found foil inside of the chocolate itself.
Really?
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, and it's like it'll always be when I'm going to swallow it, I'll suddenly feel it against the back of my throat and like hack and cough. So, and like I'm someone who's very careful about not eating the wrapper on things. So I'm not actually
That
getting,
sounds okay.
yeah, but it's like it's slowly been driving me nuts.
Hmm.
The other place you might have to come is the Empire Cheese Factory.
Oh,
They
never heard of that either. So yeah, I haven't
Yeah,
been there.
Empire Cheese doesn't get imported outside of Canada, but they make some really good cheese.
Hmm. Like what kind of cheese?
Mostly stuff like cheddar, but they make something that's Gouda adjacent or Gouda adjacent, depending on what English pronunciations you've heard of that cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's just Gouda adjacent. They make something that we call cottage cheese here. It's essentially like liquidier cream cheese. They also
Oh
make
yeah, I heard of that.
Yeah, they also make normal cream cheese, and they make a
Also, yeah, okay, cream cheese is something that's kind of broke my mind when I heard of it for the first time.
oh, how come?
Because like there are lots of kinds of creamy cheeses. So what kind of creamy cheese is cream cheese?
The one you put on a bagel.
There are a bunch of those.
Huh. Over here we just get one cream cheese.
Yeah, see, that kind of broke me when I heard about that. Because I was looking for recipes for a bunch of different stuff, and one recipe called for cream cheese, but I didn't exactly know what could work for that. Like, there are like, cream cheeses for desserts, cream cheeses to like spread on bread, cream cheeses, like 5 different kinds of cream cheeses to put with like pasta and stuff. Like, it's just so weird to just hear cream cheese. Oh yeah, that's the cream cheese.
Well, but
What?
see, there are lots of versions of that cream cheese, but it's all the same base. Now, if you go to a specialty cheese store
No, it's
here,
not.
no, over here, if you go to buy cream cheese, you can buy
Oh,
cream cheese, you can buy herb and garlic cream cheese, you can buy Jack Cheddar. Yeah, Jack Cheddar cream cheese. The cream cheese has bits of cheddar and like spicy like jalapeno bits put in it. Like it's two cheeses put together. But it's still
yeah,
cream
but I'm not
cheese.
talking about. But I'm talking about cheese with bits of stuff in it. I'm talking about like different kinds of cheese.
Oh, I know. If you go to a specialty cheese store, they do not sell generic cream cheese. They've got like dozens of different ones that you can get that are like actually distinct cheeses. Um, but if
Yeah, I
you
mean, I'll be honest. There's this friend of mine. We were talking about cheeses for like this sort of thing here, and at one point he just told me I had to just take a picture of like the cheese aisle at my like local grocery store to just give him an idea, and that sort of blew his mind for like the level of variety we have here in Italy.
yeah, whereas you go
So
into
I can
most
understand.
Yeah, whereas you go into most things here and you can buy like shredded mozzarella cheese, shredded cheddar cheese, blocked cheddar cheese, blocked mozzarella cheese. You can buy cottage cheese, cream cheese, and maybe Parmesan cheese in a side of a little shaker container. And that's it. There'll be lots of different brands, but it will just be those basic options.
Yeah.
Maybe if
Also,
you go
when
to a
I hear
fancy store,
some
you'll get more.
interesting stuff as well.
Okay.
Um, about Parmesan specifically, Parmesan is made in a very similar way to Parmigiano, that's an Italian cheese.
Okay.
But legally, they cannot call it Parmigiano because the environmental features required to get the actual Parmigiano taste are only found in the in like northern Italy.
Yeah.
So if you get Parmesan, you're essentially getting like off-brand Parmigiano,
Yeah,
and it's like impossible to get actual Parmesan
which
because you need to, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what's really funny is we've got a store in Canada. If you're ever here, you've got to go to it called No Frills.
Hmm.
So it's a grocery store that's like, so you know how stores will have like off-brand products?
Hmm.
So over here we call those no-name brand products. No Frills store brand is literally called No Name. Their
Mm.
their label is yellow, the text is black, and it just says no name, whatever the product is. And it's like
Uh-huh.
no store does that. All of them like have like Hidden Valley or like you know um
Yeah, I get that.
and like they'll have all of these little store brands that are like only these stores sell them. And it's like no frills. Yeah, no name brand. We're not hiding behind this fake brand that you've never heard of unless you've shopped here before. It's just the store product. It's like that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, there's no wondering, wait, is this an actual brand I've never heard of? That slight moment of panic with someone who likes a lot of cooking and going, have I not encountered this before? It's just, oh, it's the store's one. Kirkland, that was the other one I was trying to think of. Kirkland for Costco.
Mm.
One thing I'd like to apologize for, by the way, to both our British and European viewers on behalf of North America for, is inventing the suburb. I'd like to formally apologize for having invented the concept.
Oh, so you're the guy who did it
No,
specifically? Wow.
no,
Thank you.
no. Someone from the United States invented it, but I still want to
Oh,
formally
too late.
apologize on
Too late.
behalf
You
of North
said it.
America.
You said it. Now it's your fault.
Well, trust me, I don't like them either. They're bad for city design, they're bad for people, they're just bad on every level. And you know what's even more fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
You know malls, right?
Yeah.
They were an invention to try and solve the suburb problem by creating walkable places for people to go, hang out, shop, eat food, kind of like the town square. Malls became temples to capitalism immediately.
No, absolutely. Okay, give me a second. I'm ordering some bubble tea.
So yeah, to any of our non North American viewers, you have us to blame for the proliferation of this terrible, terrible, terrible idea, and I am deeply sorry that you guys have to deal with it, because we don't like it much either. Yeah, suburbs were a terrible, terrible idea, chat. Welcome back. So, here's sort of something that you may or may not be surprised by based on where I live. So you've been walking for about, by the looks of it, 45-ish minutes, right?
Yeah, about 45 minutes. A bit longer than that, but yeah.
Okay, so not gonna let you in on something that's probably not even a secret. If I walked so far as 10 minutes, you would be hearing the noises of heavy traffic right now. And it's noon on a Wednesday. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, most people are in office buildings, and you'd still be hearing heavy traffic right now if I was walking. Meanwhile, on your end, there's been like bits of like people talking in the background. I haven't heard a single car go by.
Let me turn on my webcam and show you where I am right now.
Cool. Stream won't be able to see, but
Yeah, of course, but you will.
yeah, that's fair.
Here you go. I'm in a pedestrian area.
Yeah.
Can you see?
Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
it's along the canal.
Yeah, these are just a straight up foreign idea to most North Americans anymore. Like pedestrian walkable areas where it's not built for cars. Foreign concept to us at this point.
Yeah, I remember. There was this one city I was in when I visited the US that was literally just one stretch of highway and buildings on the side.
You wouldn't believe how many towns and cities and whatnot in Canada and the United States are just that. Just highway
Mm.
with buildings along the side. Like there are schools I have seen where it's like, yep, we gotta walk across an 8-lane highway because you know all of your houses are on that side of the highway and the schools are all on this side of the highway. So we gotta wait for a dozen transport trucks to decide to yield to us. Because it's a highway, meaning we don't even have a crosswalk. And
Wow.
it's like, what a stupid concept. And yet that's how we build things. Because we're
That sounds
Muppets.
so backwards.
I know! I know, right? Like, on an infrastructure level, a big semi truck can just, like, keep going after it stops. Making, like, little kids stand around for, like, 45 minutes waiting for a truck to decide to be polite and yield to it? To them, like, ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that
That,
sucks.
that's how we decided to do things because we're idiots.
Hmm.
Just absolute grade A Muppets. Actually, I'm kind of curious. When I say Muppet, what do you imagine?
They're like puppets.
Okay, so the word Muppet has sort of seeped in as an insult for something or someone that's stupid. So if you ever hear someone getting called a Muppet, they're not being called the Jim Henson puppet. They're being called an idiot.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. We went with the absolute stupidest way to design our cities and said, yes, this will work. This will suffice. Because we are silly. I'm actually curious. You mentioned some interest in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom the other day.
Yeah, Breath of
Uh,
the Wild is one of my favorite games. It's like the only open world game where I actually enjoy the open world aspect.
which Zelda game, sorry?
Breath of the Wild.
Oh, yeah, okay. So a gameplay trailer came out yesterday, officially from Nintendo. I'm not sure if you've seen it. It looked amazing.
No, I don't care.
Okay,
I mean, first of all, I don't have a Switch, so I'm not gonna play it. I played Breath of the Wild on my Wii U.
fair enough.
And second, if I get the chance to buy it and play it, I already know I'm gonna do that, so trailers are irrelevant.
That's fair enough. Even though I essentially had decided as soon as it was announced I was acquiring it, I have been very interested in the trailers and stuff.
Why?
I don't know, it's kind of hype building for the game. Everyone's speculating on what'll be in it, what won't be in it, and it's kind of fun.
I don't know. Personally, I prefer to go in blind and have the like full surprise.
Hey, we have
You know,
Nately in the stream, by the
it's
way.
oh hey there, Nately. Yeah. But yeah, like my point of view is just that trailers are there for me to decide whether I want to buy a game or not. Once I have decided, why would I want to know more? Why do I want to spoil my experience, even partially?
That's fair. Now, Nintendo's one of those companies where when they put out trailers, they tend to avoid things that are spoilery.
No, spoiler also means that like gameplay mechanics and stuff.
I guess that's fair.
Anything, anything about the game that I didn't know before and that I know after is a spoiler.
I guess that's fair.
Like I don't
Generally,
know. There's like some stuff that you need to know to decide whether or not to buy a game, right? Like for example, oh, it's an open world game, right? Like
yeah.
if you like the sort of open world experience, then that's probably a good selling point. And once you learn about that, once you get that spoiler, because that is a spoiler, that the fact that it's an open world game is a spoiler by itself. But you know, once you have that, you might be interested in the game. So I definitely understand. Like trailers are important for that reason.
I guess
But like
that's
once I
fair.
already know that I'm gonna play it, why would I want to know more instead of discovering it for myself while I play?
I guess that's fair. For me, I generally consider spoilers to be more things about the story. And it's one thing when it's like a Marvel movie, right? Where you might not know how things are going to play out, you might just know the characters in it. But it's a whole nother thing when it's a Zelda game because, let's be honest, Zelda games always have the exact same base storyline. You're Link, Zelda's kidnapped, go kill Ganon.
Hmm.
That's the
Yeah.
that's the baseline of every Zelda game. It's been spoiled since the original came out, and they've kept reusing the plotline ever since. You know, just like a Mario game is go, Bowser has Peach, go kill Bowser. Okay, I will go as Mario to kill Bowser. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
actually, I'm curious. So I'm friends with a couple of Italian Americans, and they all say Mario differently than I have heard either Italians or non-Italian Americans say it. I'm curious, how do you say
Do
that
you want
name?
me to say the name for you?
Sure, I'm curious how you say it.
You mean the name of the character, right? The character from the video game.
Yes.
That person with a very specific name. You want me to say the name?
Yes.
Uh, okay. So in Italian, you say Mario.
Okay. All the
Mario
Italian
is how you pronounce it.
Okay, all the Italian Americans I hear say Mario with a very nasally A. And it's
Not just an
like,
American thing.
well, and it's like I hear Charles Martinet say it, and he goes Mario, and it's like, guess that's how the name is said in the character for the character is Mario, and it's like so many when referring to the character say
Well, no.
Mario.
Well, no. If you want to be accurate, it's Mario, not Mario. Mario.
Well, I guess that's
The
true.
R is trilled.
Yeah, North American English
So Mario
especially.
is not correct pronunciation. Like if you want to be accurate.
Yeah, not even Charles Martinet actually says the very North American R part of it. He goes for a more Mario.
That's really close to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't
I
do
have no
the.
idea who the guy is though.
He's the guy who plays Mario in all of the games. He's the voice actor.
No, I see.
Yeah. So if you've ever like seen those clips of "It's a me, Mario," that's him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see.
Yeah. I cannot do his voice or his Mario voice.
Like the way you said Mario there, that sounds more like a Japanese R than an Italian R.
Okay, I'm trying my best here.
Like a combination of an R and an L, in a way.
The
Like an R with a bit of an L into it.
Is that the Italian one or the one I just did?
The one you did.
Okay.
That's more of like a Japanese R, I think.
Yeah, whereas I think the Italian one has sort of like a D sort of in it.
like that.
Yeah. Knightley saying he also does Waluigi. He also does Luigi's voice as well. Interesting thing though, both Wario and Wario is meant to be German actually. That's why
Not
he.
to see that from the mustache.
I don't think he's meant to be that particular mustached German.
Mm. No, it just like feels German to me.
Yeah,
It's not about Hitler, just German in general.
yeah, that's fair enough.
Also, Hitler was Austrian, so that would not have been a great comparison either way.
No, that's true. Actually, one of the things that I always point out to people whenever they say, "Oh, Wario's Italian," it is like, listen to how Wario says his name whenever he says it. He says Wario, which sounds very
he does.
German. Yeah, he says a V instead of a W, and to me it's like that's a German thing, or at least that's the stereotype that's how Germans say their W's is with a V.
Yeah.
Whereas Waluigi is meant to be Spanish.
Oh, really?
Yeah. In the few games he's appeared in, like there have been like little references to that, like usually it's the stereotypical North American impression of what someone from Spain is like. Like he's got a matador outfit and like he'll catch a rose in his teeth and stuff like that. Which it's like, if you're gonna make someone Spanish, those are the stereotypes everyone will know. Just like if you want to make someone French, you put garlic around their neck and put them in a black and white stripy shirt. And make them carry a baguette.
Yeah, of course.
And if you want to make someone English, give them crooked teeth. That's our stereotype when we want to make an English character, is give them crooked teeth. And add a ton onto whatever their last name is. So, like, take a very English-sounding name like John Smith, right? Stereotypical English name.
You
If-
see, like Smithington or something like that.
Yeah, we would make it Smithington, just to add to the Englishness, and give him really bad crooked teeth. And make him say what every so often, just randomly. Just because that's what we've decided English people are like, despite the fact that most of us are descendants of English people. Which just blows my mind that that's the stereotype we've decided to go with for those countries.
Yeah, probably one of my favorite things about the whole way that Americans talk about, like, ethnicity, like quote unquote, like heritage or like whatever. You know, like I'm 1/4 Irish or some bullshit like that, which is completely absurd.
Yeah.
Probably my favorite thing about that specifically is the fact that if you go before 1939, people were mostly saying, "Oh, I'm 1/3 like German," and then after 1939, that completely disappeared, and now everyone is like Irish.
Almost like everyone didn't want to be German.
Almost like they're just Americans.
Exactly. You know.
My mom
Influences.
is French, but I could never say that I'm French because I've never lived in France. I didn't grow up in France. I don't have much in common with French culture, so I can't really say that I'm French.
Yeah.
Like, sure, yeah, my mom is French. I'm Italian.
Yeah.
That just because my mom is French doesn't mean that I'm French.
Yeah.
But, you know, apparently, if like a guy's great grandfather was Turkish in the U.S., well, now they're Turkish.
Yeah. I think there's sort of an interesting reason as to why that is, actually. Most of the people who
Is that
came.
a census thing?
Well, so the census actually doesn't collect ethnicity. Or, sorry, it doesn't collect ethnicity based on region. Like, you can put in white, black, Asian, Hispanic.
No, no. How is that ethnicity? No, no, that's skin color. That's a
I
different thing,
know,
right?
I know, but that's what American censuses tend to mark, like even Canadian ones, because I've taken a couple. That's what they mark as ethnicity. They don't care where your ancestors came from. They just care, are you a white person or can the cops beat you up? You know, like that's what they're asking. And which variety of beating should the cop give you? That's what they're asking. But I think the way North Americans conceptualize ethnicity is very driven by the colonial past that North America especially has had, where essentially you had initially you had the Spanish and the French show up to do a lot of early colonial projects.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the English show up, mostly through. Actually, here's the interesting thing. Up until the mid 1700s, most English colonialization was not done by the crown itself, but was done by private corporations.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
like Jamestown, famous one in North America, in the South specifically. That was meant to be a tobacco plantation. Plymouth in the north was founded by religious extremists, which is funny. A lot of the Americans in chat will be going, wait, wasn't it founded by people seeking religious freedom? No, they wanted freedom from all the other religions. They thought they were heretical and wanted to kill them, but couldn't do that, so moved to North America. And where I'm from, Ontario, was started by a trading company that traded furs with England. Like all of what is now modern Ontario used to be run by oh, I'm probably going to get it wrong. No, the Hudson's Bay Company. That is actually correct.
So let me just interrupt you for like 30 seconds. You know, now that you've been talking about all this stuff, really what I want to do when I go back home, play some Europa Universalis 4. I want to do some colonization.
Fair enough. Um,
To be fair, that's an amazing game. I love it so much. I play Stellaris nowadays more than EU4 because Stellaris is more of like a small brain game. Essentially, lets me not think as much as what I'm doing.
fair
Um,
enough.
while EU4 requires more concentration.
Fair enough. Implord says businesses tended to affect Britain a lot. Yeah, up until
Oh
the
yeah.
crown got really big coffers in the mid 1700s, most colonial ventures were run by capitalists looking to start up like plantations and stuff, or looking to do trading and stuff like that. So it had a big impact on Britain and still does to this day. But anyway, because of all of that, you tend to have lots of essentially hired people from like the Spanish or the French or Germans or Scandinavians showing up to as like hired workers. And
Mm-hmm.
when and their kids by the that their kids that were born on those in those colonies were not considered members of the colony. They were considered persons belonging to the country their parents had come from, despite having been born in what would go on to become the continental United States or Canada. And so that person wasn't considered American. They were considered Greek or German or some Scandinavian or French or Spanish. They were not considered a member of the colony. They were subjects of a different government and were treated as such.
That's understandable. Yeah.
Yeah, but then even if they never set foot outside of like North America, their kids were considered people belonging to a different government, despite the fact that they were now the third generation, and maybe even one of their parents was someone who was considered properly American, but because, or actually at the time it would have been properly British because America wasn't a thing, they would have been
Mm-hmm.
considered technically a part of that other country, not even a Brit, so on and so forth. And then when you've got the concept of America starting to form, there was still that nascent assumption that, yeah, but you're not English, so you must not be American. And that it just stuck
No,
around.
I see.
So there's that nascent concept. They're like, what are you, actually. And it's like, well, I'm one half Irish, one third this, one quarter that. Even if even your grandparents never set foot in any of those countries, the assumption is, yeah, but you're not really American. What really are you? And like that's not just a thing that happens with people of other races. White people do it to each other too. Now, when white people do it to each other, it's more mild curiosity, as opposed to how can I specifically be racist to you? Because I have seen.
Well, I mean, have you ever seen the version of the Polish around?
It's kind of funny you mention that. Most of my grandparents on my mum's side are actual Polish immigrants. I wouldn't say I'm Polish because I'm Canadian. But it does mean I've eaten a lot of Polish food.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, pierogies are
I was
really.
thinking of visiting Poland soon. I've got a few friends there,
Yeah, pierogies are good. Borscht is good. There are lots of
and
really
it's
good
like
Polish
very
food.
cheap.
Yeah, it's all really cheap to make too. I mean, which is great, like.
No, no, I mean just traveling to Poland.
Oh yeah, because you're in
Yeah,
Europe.
the food is cheap as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
also in Europe. I'm Canadian. That would be like a couple hour plane flight. Plus, I'd have to get a passport and.
What do you mean, couple hours? Like 15 hours at least.
Yeah, but I do a lot of sleeping or playing video games and wouldn't notice it. There are days where I can just.
To be fair, when I was going to the US, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there are days when it's like, it's it's 10. I don't have to work. I'm gonna sit down and play video games. Huh, I've been playing video games for a little bit. Maybe I should have breakfast. Oh, look, it's 8 p.m. already.
Oh yeah, that happens to me as well.
The time will just slide off my brain, and I won't notice it's happening.
I was saying, like, to be fair, when I went to the US last year, I essentially spent the entirety of my flight just listening to the same song on repeat for like 15 hours.
That would drive me insane.
It's a really good song. It's Foundation from Final Fantasy XIV. Sorry, not Foundation. It's a Solid, which is the theme of Foundation.
Okay, you're gonna
And
have to
it's
send that
such
over.
a good.
You're gonna have to send that over to me. I'd love to give that a listen then. As someone who has not played a Final Fantasy game past 6, I'm curious.
Oh, you know what? After you're done with your stream, I'm gonna set up a watch together room so we can like watch some stuff synchronously. And I
Oh,
can show
cool.
you some nice,
Cool.
nice stuff.
Cool, yeah. Let's say we maybe go for another 15 minutes and then wrap things up. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. I mean, I'm walking around. I'm just going on a loop because I really feel like walking today.
That's
I'm
that's fair
not-
enough.
I'm not. I'm not working out today, so I am planning on trying to have like a nice steady walk for a couple of hours.
Nightly,
And it's-
Nightly says that it does give the chance to binge on Prey.
Oh, absolutely, it does.
Oh, I can't disagree with you on that. It is quite fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, right after we're done here, I'm gonna eat your entire chat. So,
I mean, you can do that on your stream. Come on, here they're mine.
oh, you wish.
How about we split them 50-50? You take Implord, I'll take Nightly.
Oh, by 50-50, I thought you said something like, I take the bottom half, so you take the top half, or something like that.
oh, I don't know why that was so funny to me. Oh.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I got curious about, you said frying stuff earlier. What type of oil would you use for frying stuff up? Because I wouldn't think olive oil. It's got a really high flash point.
So usually for frying, it really depends. If you're making a sauce or something, like, tomato sauce or any sort of stuff you put with pasta, you use olive oil. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I was thinking more like you said, like I'm more thinking like deep frying, like something that you'd submerge
Oh,
in oil.
I'd use either sunflower seed oil or I don't know how it's pronounced in English. Let me just translate it. It's called colza in Italian. Oh, canola oil, I guess.
I've got a fun fact for you about
No,
canola oil.
Nately wants a tug of war.
Implored says he's done nothing wrong, and yeah, Knightley's going tug of war, tug of war. So, interesting fact for you about canola oil. It's Canadian.
Yeah. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. Interesting.
Yeah. So there is, to my knowledge, no such thing as a canola plant.
Oh, seriously?
Yes, canola oil is actually made of rapeseed oil. So canola oil is made of rapeseed, which is a type of plant, and canola oil production is largely a product of Canada, with canola oil originally meaning Canadian rapeseed oil. So canola
Oh.
originally meant it was an oil. It's just that we've added oil onto it. So yeah, it's a Canadian thing, and that's something I did happen to know, but I just googled to make sure it was the correct plant was rapeseed.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's a Canadian product. That's kind of neat. Yeah, I do know that for like cooking stuff like pasta, where you've got like fairly low heat, you're not like doing anything particularly hot. Olive oil works pretty well for that. But it does have a particularly high smoke and flash, or particularly low smoke and flash point compared to other oils.
Mm.
Yeah. So, we've got just 10 minutes left. Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
Oh, I'm not sure. Um, we talk about food a lot, and somehow I'm not hungry. I was thinking to go for some chips, but no, that would be too much right now. Hmm.
All of my stream
Yeah, no,
assets
up to
seem to
you, I
have
guess.
broken, actually. Sorry, really quickly, I've got to
All of
fix...
what? Sorry?
All of my stream's assets appear to have broken very suddenly.
No.
Uh,
What do you use? What software do you use for your streams?
OBS. I don't know how
Normal
long...
OBS or Streamlabs OBS?
Streamlabs OBS. I don't know what happened or how I didn't notice it. No, that's the wrong... That's what I'm... No, that's... There we go. Both the PNG tubers and chat and my notification box and everything raised up like a good amount that it was not supposed to.
Ooh,
Oh.
sorry, give me a second. Rufia just messaged me. That's important. The artist who made the avatar you're using for my PNG stuff. I am waiting on a pretty nice commission from him.
Ah,
So-
fair enough. Also, never mind, it wasn't that all my assets had shifted up, it's that my background shifted down.
All right.
I don't know what happened, but it's fixed now. How did no one in chat notice that the top of my screen's bar was just black?
Because no one cares about you, and you will die alone.
Okay.
And that was the end of our stream. Goodbye, everyone.
Oh my goodness. That would be a very, very terrible note to end on. Just a very sad, okay. That is not the way I want this stream to end. uh,
Well, everyone loves you and you live forever. There we go.
Well, that would be certainly a different positive ending for the stream to end on. But
You just spend eternity watching everyone you love die because you will live forever, but they won't.
oh, now I'm sad again. Implort says he's not that observant. I mean, you really should be. You are a moderator on Toby's chat. You should be observant enough to notice when things go wrong.
I mean, he is world champion in speed banning of bots, so he does his job.
Nately says that he's just listening to the gurgles of his two favorite streamers. Well, I'm glad to be one of your two favorite streamers, and I'm sure Toby's happy to hear that as well. That he's one of your two favorite as well.
Yeah, I am. Thank you, cutie.
Actually, Toby, I've been meaning to ask. So I, for the life of me, cannot figure out how to do the gulps and gurgles and things that you do on stream halfway as good as you. I can barely get them to come through with my mic's gain cranked all the way to the max. So that's why I've just put on a recording of churning.
What recording of churning?
Do you not hear the recording on stream, or?
Do you feel like I'm actually having any sort of volume in your stream to hear you talk twice and hear myself talk as well?
Actually, that's fair. That's fair, but
Okay,
you
give me a second. I'll turn the volume up a bit and I'll try to listen to it. Wait. Okay, yeah, I heard the churning stuff. That's pretty good churning. Did you record it yourself?
Yes, I did actually.
Yeah, pretty nice. I have a bunch of recordings of myself that I need to edit and do something decent with them.
Yeah. Now this was
Pretty good
taken.
stuff.
Yeah, this was actually taken over like a couple of days and edited together to sound as continuous as it is.
Yeah, of course. But you asked about like my live gulping and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I can have my gain cranked all the way to the max and put my throat right up against the mic, and I still don't hear it.
I don't know. I just have my face at a like healthy distance from the mic. Though to be fair, from time to time I like unconsciously move closer to it until I'm like almost ready to deep throat it essentially. And that's when I realized, okay, I should pull back a bit.
And see, I'm
But
like one fist length away from my mic.
yeah, that's about the length I try to keep, like about the distance I try to keep. Maybe a bit further away than that, but that's pretty much it. And for the gulps, I just drink stuff and sort of put my chin up a bit so the neck is a bit more exposed and the mic can pick that up a bit better. But that's it.
Okay, so I've got some water here. All right.
Okay, give it a try.
Did that come across at all?
No, I didn't hear a single sound.
Okay.
You know what? Actually, try and do something. Do that, but turn your webcam on or something. Let me like see exactly how you're doing it. Maybe there's something it can help you with in terms of technique or whatever. I don't know. I just do what comes natural to me, honestly.
Okay, yeah. Well, I actually don't have a webcam for my computer at the moment.
Oh, then your phone later at some other point.
Yeah. Like, here, I'm gonna put my
Yeah, I
throat
guess-
literally as close to the mic as I can get it. So it's now actually in contact with it.
Okay.
Okay, did that come across?
Yeah. Oh, it did. Yeah, it did.
Alright, chat, let me know if those sounded any good to you. Because I can't hear them right now.
And I'm honestly interested in how they sound in comparison to mine as well, since
Alright.
I don't really listen to mine because they're live.
Alright, well. Alright, Nately says he heard it
Well,
that
Nately
time.
heard it. Yeah.
And he seems to be very happy with it. So, I guess that's the technique I need to use, is to literally put my throat up against the pop filter and swallow. Alright.
I mean, I guess it works. I guess it works.
Yeah,
I'll
actually,
have to probably go
Actu-
through one of my streams and listen to the gurgles I make there.
technically what I
Just to
have
see.
isn't a pop filter, technically it's an S filter.
Mm.
Um, do you know a huge amount about audio recording technology?
Not much, no.
Okay, so have you ever listened to something and you've gotten one of those really harsh sounds?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what a pop filter is meant to stop. And have you ever
Oh, I
heard?
know.
Yeah, and you've heard someone go, "S," but it sounds like a very sharp S sound.
Yeah, I just take care of that with like compression equalizing on the software side.
Ah, fair enough. There are actually physical things that you can put on your mics to prevent that from happening, without having to do any EQ adjustment. And that's what I have on mine. Is I have an S filter. One thing I want to actually get for it is I want to get a proper wind muff as well, so I can do some outside recordings.
Oh, that's nice.
Shit, Nately was talking about the first set that I did that you couldn't hear. That he liked those, too.
Oh, interesting. I couldn't hear them, but maybe it's just because you have a threshold set up for your Discord.
That's possible. That's possible. So I will actually have to...
Interesting.
Alright, I will have
Also-
to... Yep, go ahead.
Before you go, I actually have something for Nately and Implored.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh, that one did not come across very well on my end. Give me one sec. Damn it, they're not coming out good
How did
today.
it come across on your end?
Yours came across great. It's mine that are coming across crap.
I'm using shitty headphones while walking around, and my mouth is like far away from my mic as well. How are you?
I've got a nice condenser mic. I'm
means
gonna.
I'm
I've got like a.
means I'm a really good friend or something.
I've got a nice condenser mic. I'm in a studio. I just drank something. All I can do are very breathy ones. Implored is. There we go. Proper.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's a nice one.
All right. Implored seems quite.
Okay, I actually please. Actually, can I flip it or something? Yes, I can. Okay, I want to see like how my headphones sound. So I made a clip and I'll listen to it after you're done streaming.
Okay. Implored seems quite happy with the one you did, and Knightley says, "Was that for us, or was that us?"
Yes.
I was going to say, why not both? Both is good. Actually, I'm kind of curious. Do you guys have that both is good meme in Italy or no?
I mean that comes from the Road to El Dorado, and that definitely has a cult following. So a bit, I guess.
Okay, yeah, because I just realized other countries probably have very different memes.
Oh, absolutely.
So, I'm very curious as sort of the last thing. Are there any big Italian memes that North Americans might not get? Because I'd be curious if you
Memes
sent...
about Italian stuff, absolutely, yeah.
Well, that's not quite what I meant. I more meant like, are there any memes that are specific to Italian culture that don't really exist
Sorry,
in
a
North
dog
America?
just walked past me.
Ah, fair enough.
What?
Nately,
Sorry, what did you say?
Nately said, yes, both is good, very good. And so I was more thinking like, are there any memes that are specific to Italian culture that a North American might not get? Like, I know I've seen even some British memes that, like, it's like, huh, I've never seen that. And they're like, really? It's really popular over here. And I'm like, huh. I mean, they're funny. I'm just kind of curious.
I don't know. It really depends because it's so like culture based that I'm not sure I can think of an example and you would know it, right?
That's fair. Really quickly, I'm going to just before we wrap this up, I'm going to trip my bot here to So I don't know if I'm the only one who's done this, but I've jerry rigged a bot to do notifications as if it's me.
Yeah, I have that going as well.
Okay,
Wait, what do
so
you mean to do notifications? Like,
like
I might be misunderstanding.
I just told it to do the Discord one. It doesn't show me doing a command, and it looks as if I'm the one who put it in chat.
Oh, yeah, of course. Which bot do you use? Did you make it yourself, or
I
did you use some
I
like
literally
pre-programmed
jerry
stuff?
rigged it to run. It's a jerry rigged bot that runs in. It's actually not even a bot. It's a program in oh, what's it? A Python, the coding language Python.
Yeah, I use that.
Yeah, okay. So I rigged up a bot just looking for code. I just went, okay, this is a code that can put in text. This is a code that can put it into a chat box. This is a thing that can send it. Great, put them together, figure out how they work.
Yeah. So essentially, I use a software called Mix It Up, where it lets you log in with either your account or a specific bot that you want to make, or both.
Okay.
And you can set up with like hotkeys and stuff to send messages in chat. So that's
Okay,
what I use.
cool. Okay. I was just curious if I was the only one who tried jerry rigging something.
Oh,
I'm
I
pro-
did that a while ago with some Hades stuff. They wanted to make the bot that would automatically set up polls whenever I was to obtain a boon in the game, so chat could vote on what I should get. And then I stopped streaming after a while. So
All
useless.
right. By the way, if you'd like, feel free to put in links to your stuff in the chat. So just people on the replay could also see it if they're not familiar with your channel.
Could you do it actually? Because I'm on a different account on my phone for Twitch.
Yes, I can. Really quick, just let me make my. I'm just gonna make my. Yeah, I'm
I'll
gonna.
just send you the links
Yeah, cool.
on Discord.
Yeah, and I'm gonna make my bot quickly show the YouTube. There's the first thing that isn't a human I've heard on your end all day. And I'm willing to bet, was that a motorcycle or like...
Yeah, motorcycle.
I wasn't sure if it was a scooter.
No, not a scooter. Motorcycle.
Okay.
And just give me a second for a Twitter link. I haven't been using Twitter in a few days because I was tired and I wanted to add to my stress.
Implord has posted a very AV string of emojis in chat. At least that's what I assume he's alluding to.
Oh Yes, I can see that.
All right. Are you sending me the links over Discord or?
Yeah, I sent them to you on Discord.
Ah, thank you. All right. So, would you like to post your YouTube as well so I can have the bot send those through?
No, it's the same. Lizard Toby, all the capital L, capital T, with the at first. And I can check just to be sure. Let's see. It's taking a while to load. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the YouTube is www.youtube.com/@lizardtoby, capital L, capital T.
Okay. I just realized I'm not actually subscribed to your YouTube channel either.
Oh, shame. I mean, it's just for VODs.
And everything I'm getting is unrelated, so let me try this. YouTube.
I'll just send it to you on Discord again.
Ah, I managed to find it. All right, and I have subscribed.
There we go. Send it to you on Discord just to be sure.
I had never seen a link to the YouTube, okay? I didn't know it existed until now.
Wait, what do you mean links to the YouTube?
Like, I hadn't seen a link to your YouTube until, like, right now.
Oh, it's only on my Twitch profile.
Oh,
I
in
don't
the...
advertise it much because I think it's kind of useless. It's just for VODs.
Okay, fair enough. That's what my YouTube channel is, but I'm also actually working on a series of videos about the importance of certain aspects of game design right now. It's all in the...
Oh, you told me about it, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually all in the works. My plan is to upload them actually all at once as part of a big chunk.
I don't think you should do that. I think you should upload them at a distance of a few days each.
Yeah, actually, that does make a little bit more sense. Anyway, Toby, do you have anything you'd like to say before we wrap this up?
No, nothing.
All right, well, just in case anyone's watching this as the VOD or on the replay and they don't know who you are or where they can find you, what do you do? Who are you? What do you do there, and where can they find you?
Oh, I'm Toby. I eat people. You can find me probably behind you when you're walking alone.
Not quite what I meant, but all right.
No, I'm a variety streamer and I do vor stuff on Furfinity and Twitter. I'm also on Twitch at Lizard Toby. I do variety stuff and I talk vor a lot and I belch on my mic because people get horny about it.
Alright, and I am Nitsuj Nobel. You can find me on Twitter at Nitsuj_Nobel, on Twitch at Nitsuj_Nobel, and on YouTube at Nitsuj_Nobel. On Twitch, I tend to do some Vori fun stuff in stream, and you can watch those on the VODs on YouTube. And for dedicated YouTube videos, I'm planning on doing a series on aspects of game design, as well as politics, philosophy, and all that other stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.